The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Thursday, 14th of May.
The Fujicast.
Hello, welcome to the Fujicast Daily. Once weekly, now daily, during various lockdowns and restrictions of movement. A show about photography, a show about community, and yes, a show that reflects our love of Fujifilm kit, though you can shoot anything you like, and your pictures can be about all manner of subjects. Every show we try to answer your photographic questions that you kindly send in. Keep them coming in, please, to click at fujicast.co.uk. I'm talking about restrictions of movement, of course, but in some countries now, many countries, those restrictions, Kev, are starting to relax, aren't they? Eh?
Right. Seems that way. Yeah, all good.
Does it seem busier over the last 24 hours? Are people able to go and take 2 bits of exercise a day, or?
Oh yeah. All the idiots are ignoring the fact that it's meant to be 2 bits of exercise and translating that to, we can go and do whatever we want.
Yeah. Although there was that idea of sitting in the park 2 meters away from people. I do think that's a bit of a mixed message. Without getting political.
There's a lot of mixed messages, isn't there? But, at the end of the day, I don't think the government are going out of their way to be awkward. It's just,
you don't think
do what they can do. And
you do think or don't think?
I don't think they're doing things to be awkward. I think they're doing things as best as they can. Nobody could blame anybody, regardless of your political stance, that they're not. It's just not a thing. They're doing it for as best as they possibly can, and whether that's right or wrong, nobody knows yet. But they're not doing it on purpose to be obtuse.
People are learning as they go along in every walk of life, aren't they? Really, during this particular period. Right, let's start. Until the 20th of May. This is very important. We didn't do it yesterday. We should have done. Fujifund.org. That sale is coming up on the 20th of May, isn't it?
It is indeed. Fujifund.org, 16 or 15 or 17 Fujifilm photographers. You can buy a print, August charity, COVID appeal, hungry children appeal, various things like that.
You've got a picture in there.
Fujifund.org. We will put another picture on the Fujicast website tomorrow from that selection if you're keeping up on the website.
There's a good few photographers in there. We should put your one up, Kev. Your one.
Mine went up on the first day. Do you not look at the website?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah, we've done your one, Kev. We should do somebody else's one. Oh, God, I'm trying to keep up with stuff, Kev. Honestly, I do.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. I'm just going to have a quick look at Fujifilm. I'm going to randomly pick. I tell you who we'll go for. We'll go for Damien Loveglove.
Damien Loveglove. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his picture is, but I shall publish it tomorrow on the website.
Have you ever poked a hornet's nest, by the way, Kev?
Ooh, well, no, that's a question.
There was a post yesterday, or a couple of days ago, actually, about presets in the Fujicast Facebook group. Remind me never to ask you to help me make the ones I was about to. They will have to remain my own special KFC secret recipe. I'm not sure I could deal with the fallout.
It's been no. I had a message. I had a conversation with the poster, and it was all fine. Big misunderstanding, I think. But things happen. People do things different ways. Some people like to get on a bike to get to a place. Some people go in a car.
Well, thank you for that insight. I'd like to add though presets. Because I did see that thread about why people would or would not use presets. I use a set that were designed by somebody, and I tweak them to my colours and preferences. I saw them as a starting point, really. My personal black and whites haven't really changed since the Canon days, but my colours certainly have had to. But it's a very sensitive subject, though. So, I think I likened it to being a cinematographer and a grader. The cinematographer might make the shots, but he certainly doesn't, or she certainly doesn't grade them. And
it's digital world, isn't it? And people do digital things.
One very important thing, though, there was a bit of personal sniping going on in the post, and our Steve and our Peter, who look after the posts in the Fujicast Facebook group, we were having a little chat, and I just thought, we nurtured that group, and some of the stuff that has happened at times. Just want to point. Do you mind if I point a couple of things out, Kev?
Go for it.
It's not really a group where you get edgy enough to throw a beer over one another. That's the nicest way to say it. For one, it's mine and Kev's carpet. We spent a lot of time laying that, so we don't fancy cleaning it with detergent. And there is a pandemic on for number 2. You can't get cleaning stuff easily for carpets. And number 3, we are supposed to be, well, at least respectful acquaintances. So, because we've seen some of those, when toys are cast from prams in some of those groups, Kev, you've seen it.
I've seen some of them hurled a very long way.
And that leads very nicely, Kev, into Nigel Hayward's email. Hi, chaps. Keep up the good work. Wishing the Daily Show was always at least 45 minutes long. It's the same as my journey to work. I'm ever so sorry. When you were talking to Kev about what kind of job he'd like to do, stand by for a joke, Kev, and he mentioned that he wouldn't mind being a postman, tell him not to do it. It's so depressing going to work and to be kept on being given the sack every morning.
Oh, Nigel, don't give up the day job, whatever it is.
Quick question for Kev. I've never used presets before. How do you... No, I purposefully put this in at the start. How do you install them, and how do they work with old school Photoshop and Lightroom programs? Over to you, Kev.
Okay, so, most modern presets, including mine and various other ones that are profile-based, that's the key thing, the ones that are profile-based, will really only work with Lightroom 7.3 and above, Lightroom Classic, Lightroom CC, Lightroom Mobile, all of that stuff, but as long as it's 7.3 and above, or the Creative Cloud version. And all you do is you go to the File menu and choose Import Profiles and Presets, and then point to the zip file. Boom, where you go.
Does it always have to be a zip file?
No, it doesn't have to be the zip file. You could point to the you could then zip the zip file and point to the contents of the zip file, but the zip file is easier. They also work in Adobe RAW Converter. What's it called? ACR. Adobe
ACR, yeah. Is
ACR.
it? ACR, yeah.
Adobe Converter RAW. ARC. Adobe RAW Converter.
It works in that.
Yeah, that thing what pops up when you open a RAW file in Photoshop.
Okay, good. Jeremy Bishop, Kev and Neil, you were talking about books. This is from yesterday, actually. This question came winging in. And I wonder why that is. You were talking about storing your books vertically, and I wonder why that is. I store mine on shelves that are both vertically stored and some horizontal for design aesthetic. Any reason for vertical when I would have thought flat would keep them just as protected?
Flat crushes them. The books above, the heavier they are above, the more they get crushed.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, imagine if you're lying in bed.
Yeah, but they're not going to. It's not going to flatten the paper any more than it is, though.
It does. Of course, it will. It bends the spines, all sorts. If you've got heavy books, if you're lying in bed and then Sam comes and lies on top of you,
we'll stop that.
That's not going to hurt too much. But then if Jack comes and lies on top of you, you're going to get hurt a bit. And if Thomas comes as well,
there's three of them.
It hurt.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose
what's going to happen to your poor spine.
It's already. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. That's cleared that one up. Very important announcement to make regarding Monday. You have an audience with the one, the only, Martin Parr.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got Martin Parr. We got Martin.
On Monday.
My mate Martin.
My mate Martin. What was he like?
Sorry. Lovely. Really, really nice. I mean, I've met him several times, of course, but not that, he would ever remember or recall, But yeah, he. I think if you watch his stuff, his interviews and stuff in YouTube and on the internet and the BBC documentaries and stuff about him, he might come across as a little bit, I don't know, coarse, I suppose. But I don't think that's really the case. I just think that's his. It's a bit like my resting face. But he was very obliging, very happy to come on. He was really appreciative of. What we're doing with the podcast in terms of the daily stuff. So he was like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Monday that's coming up, and look forward to it. You guys should look forward to it. I've already looked forward to it.
You've done it. It's about 20 minutes long, isn't it? Something like that. Little sketch more, I think. And that's going to be on Mondays. We have another interview on Saturday. I'm a bit unsure who to use this Saturday. We've got some great interviews. I think we might use Russell Ord this coming Saturday.
I'm looking forward to that one actually.
He's the Australian surfer dude. Who also takes the most amazing photographs in the oceans. I must admit, I'm when you get sometimes envious of people's skills and their talent and the pictures that they make, Russell is pretty much at the top of that list right now for me. Brad Wakefield. Now, this has got quite a lot to it, this one, Kev. Brad wrote in, I don't think I'll shoot a wedding this year due to so many postponements and people being unsure what they can and can't do at a wedding. In a non-selfish way, I don't blame them. If this is the case, and we have an empty diary for the rest of the year, what are your plans, chaps? I'd like to know what Brad's plans are, because Brad, of course, we've had him on the show, friend of the show. He's he worked very much as a news photographer and swapped into weddings.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice guy. Good photographer too.
Very good.
Well, from my perspective, I've been saying this for a long time, haven't I? Almost since we started, really. That I don't think that there'll be too many weddings for the rest of the year. I still hope that I'm wrong about that. I really hope I'm wrong about that. Who knows? Maybe August comes and we can. They might say less than 100 people can gather, and away you go. So, I really hope I'm wrong, but I do kind of tend to agree with Brad. My plans, well, I've just taken out a whopping great big loan at the grand old age of 47.
Yeah,
that's my plan, or that's what I've just done. Presets, online training, all the stuff I can do personally, I'll carry on doing to feed the kids. And the wife, Gemma, she can eat as well. And that's it, really. I can't really do much more.
I know you've adopted a new saying of late, which is "it'll be what it'll be," which I've heard you say.
What it will be. Well, it will be what it will be, won't it? It can't be anything else other than what it will end up being.
So you're going to be okay to the end of the year if you had no work at all? I'm asking a very personal question. You don't have to answer that.
No, not at all. I will have to get some income, and whether that involves, doing whatever I can in the business, which I have been doing, working very hard at stuff, or whether it's, being a postman and getting the sack every day. I don't know. Although I did speak to my friend Postman Matt, who's a postman, very good postman, in fact. And he said that you can't really get a job as a postman anymore. It's like 0 contract hours or something.
I see.
It's not really as nice as it sounds. I also quite like being a teacher. I quite like the idea of being a teacher.
You mentioned this so many times that there's got to be something in this. When somebody mentions something that many times.
Well, I'm also going to be doing something. This is something I need to organise also at Cirencester College. I'll be doing some more education there, adult education. But again, it all depends on the on the virus and stuff, doesn't it? And of course, that doesn't really that's not enough to make a living from. It's pennies really. It's adult education, but I don't know. Failing that, I might just go and live in Spain in the house on the hill. Go.
The house on the hill.
That's it. I'm going now.
I think for financial security.
No, that's it. Right, see the bloody hill. Come on. Only joking.
I left the silence in there because I thought.
Oh no! I knew I shouldn't have said it.
Now Git's joining in. Financial security is important. I mean, my personal plan is I want to be able to take us up to Christmas. Inevitably, that's going to have a lot to do with a little help from the Halifax. If ever there was a slogan that needed to live up to its words, and some assistance from the government. I'm a few days behind you really with the great big whopping loan, as you call it. So I've not yet heard from Mr. Del Monte of the banking word to say yes. But I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, and rescue packages notwithstanding, for me, I reckon I won't work on weddings now till late winter. I'm beginning to. I didn't want to believe you at the start. I thought in my heart I was like, "Oh, Kev's such a he's so negative. What's the matter with him?" But you were right.
Yeah. Well,
I think you are. I think you are being right because yesterday I had 2 cancellations of October weddings. Hopefully postponements, not complete cancellations. We'll see. What will be, will be. June is gone, obviously. July's gone. August is beginning to crumble now. I'm surprised that September, for some reason, seems to be hanging in. And you know this because I told you this on Messenger last night, that I've actually had 2 bookings for September.
Yeah, I've had no cancellations for September. Yeah, October has pretty much disappeared. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Although I have to say that I've spoken to a couple of people that own venues, and they're saying to me, "Neil, it's okay. It's all right. September will be okay." And I'm balancing my belief of what you've been saying, Kev, with my optimism and the fact I want to be in there with these couples in September. You bet I want to be in there. I think now I'm beginning to plan in 3-week to 4-week segments, sort of 2 months at a time. So I've now written this plan. I'm figuring that I'll get odds and bobs of work along the way, but on the whole, I'll be here. So June photography website completely redone using Squarespace. Now tomorrow we're doing A whole website special. Well, wasn't that another can of worms, by the way?
Blimey. I know. I was thinking we should ditch this photography podcast and do a website podcast instead.
Yeah, I think so.
We can call it the webcast.
The webcast. Oh, maybe that's been done.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to use Squarespace. I know people have lots of differing thoughts on that, and we won't get into that now because that is what tomorrow's show is all about. But there's my reasons for using it, and we'll discuss those tomorrow. And the launch of 2 new solo podcasts, one on storytellers that we've been talking about, which was like Breathe was, but expanded, and one on podcasts that I've been writing for a while, which is
podcast on podcasts.
Podcast about podcasts. Well, a lot of people want to know how to make podcasts. It's quite a big title actually in podcast sphere.
Well, podcasting is huge now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely enormous.
So I thought, well, what do I know how to do? I know how to produce podcasts. I know how to produce radio programs. So I thought I'd do something on that. And then I thought, right, what comes next? After June comes July. Hopefully a glimmer of some commercial work here and there. But that's the month I'm going to completely learn how the back end of voice search works. I'm going to be a bit of a devil now. Are you ready? So Siri, Cortana, Google, Alexa. If you have one of those in your house, it's now listening. So let me say this. Here's more information about the Fujicast. The Fujicast is the #1 podcast about photography. Oh, and Kevin Mullins has got huge eyebrows. End. But that's going to be a really important thing going forward. And I suspect that my business might start to corona change. I think there's more of a chance than I thought there was a month ago.
So I also think I'm duty bound to say this, even though I know that we said that we wouldn't mention it.
Oh, you're not going to get political, Kev.
I'm not getting political. I'm getting financial.
Hold on a minute.
Warning.
So yesterday, the sole traders, of which there are a lot, I would imagine there's probably a majority of wedding photographers are sole traders. Anyway, yesterday they got their hands on, I don't know, up to $7.5 grand worth of bailout money, cash, free money, just thrown at them through their windows. Yeah, money. And we don't.
Yeah, my window was open yesterday. Nothing came through mine.
No, limited companies who have their own little employee, that's us. We have to go and get a great big whopping fat, big, massive, humongous loan.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck to them.
Kevin! I tell you what, you're going to be in trouble now.
I don't care. I'm past being in trouble.
He's being grumpy, right? Grumpy is Kev. Shall we lighten the load a bit here? Adam Brennan, you may have already covered this one, but did either of you shoot for personal enjoyment prior to earning a living through photography? A living? What did you shoot? And if you tried another genre now, how do you think it would affect your work? I was curious as many photographers have had to stop their work and wondered if personal projects during this time might affect the way they shoot when things return to normal. Okay, so let's try and put a positive spin on this one. Hold on. Positive.
Were you shaving your head then?
No, that was my mantra. Not
right.
Mantra. What do they call it?
No, I didn't do any photography before I turned professional. Really, that was I never really did anything beforehand at all, apart from the. Do you remember what were those little cameras called? Like very long, oblong shaped.
Oblong shaped ones.
Film. They were oblong. They were long and like oblong.
What do you mean, like video cameras or what?
No, like cameras with 400 ISO film. You'd stick in them like on the beach. They'd have a flash one end. They were
little compact sort of Kodak ones. Our parents used to have.
I don't know if it was Kodak, but yeah, a bit like a size of a
box brownie kind of things.
No, it's shaped like a big Mars bar.
Right, okay.
Long and oblong.
Oh, yeah, anyway. No, the Instamatic. No, not Instamatic. No, I know the ones you mean. I know exactly the ones you mean. Write in and tell us, please, because we've both fallen foul of that one.
Us two old men can't string a sentence together.
Go on.
So, yeah, I used to have a couple of them kicking around, but no, nothing beforehand. And I don't, I mean, I've done lots of stuff in between since then and now, and I try and stay true to the documentary style, however that manifests itself, whichever thing. That's what I enjoy, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Yeah. I didn't. I'm the same as you, really. I didn't. I had a Zenit. Do you remember Zenit cameras?
No, I mean I know of them now, but I don't remember them ever being in my past.
Ah, well, it was an old Zenit which I used on holiday and stuff. Portraits, little portraits of family, but no, I And as far as when it goes back to normal, I am considering doing a lot more headshots. I really do like working with people for portrait work, and so I have thought about headshots. I think that might be quite fun.
Well, I'm on the same genre. I'm going to be doing street portraits.
Oh, yes. Well, we've talked about going out to do these.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strangers and Kev and Neil. What could go wrong?
And I'm not allowed to record a film out of it. I know you've told me that. I'll just grab one more sort of almost like no Tech Tuesday one, Tech Free Tuesday one, because we need to lighten it just a little bit after our talk about the current state of the photographic community. Stephen Lynham, right, here's a question for you both. Bearing in mind that Kevin's wife, Gemma, has indicated that she fancies Jeff Goldbums, if you had to, who would you choose should your wives decamp with their posh men totty? Cheerfully yours, God. Steve, not a proper photographer. Now, this is gonna. Now, I know Gemma listens. I'm lucky because Sam listens just to little bits here and there. She's not as prolific with listening to this show.
Oh no, Gemma! Like as soon as we wake up in the morning, all I can hear on the pillow next to me is you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I promise.
Good morning, it's the Fujicast, the daily show that once was weekly and is now no longer just about Fujifilm every single day in my ear.
I'm ever so sorry about that. We do love Gemma. Oh, ethereal Gemma. So you might get in trouble with ethereal Gemma, but...
I think I know who you would pick.
Go on then.
Does it begin with W?
I beg your pardon?
W and ends in Inona Ryder.
It might do. She was never more sexy to me than when she was in this. Stranger Things. This isn't the Stranger Things bed. We're getting a lot of trouble for that. This is from the amazing artlist.io, by the way, that found a load of Stranger Things-ish kind of music. But it does sound very Stranger Things, doesn't it?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
Have you never watched it? It could be too frightening for you. I don't suggest you watch it.
Just the music, which isn't even from it, sounds terrifying.
Oh, I tell you what, do you know what? If you close your eyes now, if you're listening to this podcast late at night, okay, just close your eyes and listen to this for a second. And if you've seen the show, I guarantee you're going to get little things on the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Oh, Stranger Things. Yes, it would be Winona Ryder. And save the locking the silver away jokes. That was a long time ago. Who would you choose?
I don't know. I just don't really watch enough. All of the TV shows I watch have got old women solving crimes in Middle England.
It's going to be one of those Agatha Christie type characters, then, isn't it?
Do you know what? If I'm going to go on personality alone,
go on then.
And I would absolutely marry her in a heartbeat, although she's already married and quite a bit older than me.
Right.
And it would be.
Oh, God, you're going to be in trouble.
I've forgotten her name.
This is not very good.
Jennifer Saunders.
Jennifer Saunders. If you're going to marry her, yeah, you can't say, hello, what's your name?
Jennifer Saunders. What a great person, I think.
I would not have expected you to say Jennifer Saunders.
No. I wouldn't imagine she'd expect me to say it either.
No.
But yeah, I don't know if I was going to go classy. Well, not that Jennifer Saunders not classy, of course, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really. No, I just don't.
Can I? I've got a couple of questions then. Who would shoot your wedding?
What? Who would I like to shoot my wedding?
Yeah.
That's me and Mantra now. Oh, I don't know. I'd like to go a bit off piste and have somebody like Louis Scarvan.
Oh, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I also like White Smoke Studios in Poland. They're amazing. Love them.
Well, I don't know White Smoke.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, the name rings a bell. Maybe I haven't looked at it for quite a while. Okay, so
White Smoke. I spent a week with them in a tent once. Well, not in a tent, but a week with them at Snap Festival. Really nice. Right. Well, lovely.
Yeah, so maybe White Smoke could do your wedding, and then Louis Garvan could do the portraits in the evening.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. Wow. Who would be your best man?
Oh, well, no, my first best man was Fat Phil.
Fat Phil, see?
I haven't seen Fat Phil for quite a while.
But he would still have some good stories on you, though, wouldn't he, Fat Phil?
Oh, yeah. And my second best man was, technically I didn't really have one. I suppose it was my brother-in-law, because we only had a couple of people there, a bit like most weddings now. I don't know. God, do you know what? That's such a terrible question to ask somebody. Because A, I don't intend on getting married again, and B, I've got a lot of friends, and I don't know. I think you'd be in the hat. I think Mad Mick would be in the hat. Big Nick would be in the hat.
God, it would be one of those weddings where they've got annoyingly like 6 or 7 best men, and when it comes to the speeches, it becomes this marathon.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're going to be here for 2 hours. But I know you're
Lazy Jeff would be in the hat.
Lazy Jeff.
Ozzy Wayne would be in the hat.
You're making these up now.
Postman Matt would be in the hat.
Did you say Ozzy Wayne?
Yeah, Ozzy Wayne. Well, we call him Wayno.
Actually from Australia?
No, he's from Stafford.
Oh, okay.
He just lived in Australia for a while.
All right.
Yeah, there's lots. I don't know. I've got loads of people.
But of course, there's
DIY Dave. DIY Dave would be in the hat.
All right, stop now. You're sounding just a little bit too enthusiastic about this new marriage.
What about you?
No. Sam's good enough for me, and that'll be fine. Thanks so much.
Get out of jail free.
I just thought I'd lead you down that road first. Oh dear. Well, if Winona was to say yes, and Sam's gone off with a myriad of all the stars that she loves, because I can't even begin to tell you the names that are on that list. It's huge. I don't know. Shooting the wedding. Well, clearly it's going to be you, Kev. Can't believe you chose White Smoke above me.
Well, no, because I knew you'd be on one of my best man lists.
I see. Well, no, you can do everything. You can do the photographs. You can do the best man speech. And actually, you're a darn good chef now. So we'll have a vegan celebration. You could chef it all as well. How about
vegan
that?
Pasties.
Yeah, vegan pasties. Right. Well, I think we pulled it round a little bit there, Kev, because for a moment it was going dreadfully downhill with depression. And we
were very Daily Mail at the beginning.
Yeah, it was very Daily Mail at the beginning. I do apologise, but towards the end, I believe we went a little bit more Build magazine. Maybe is it Build magazine, that one? I don't know. Anyway,
Build isn't that the red top in Germany?
Yeah, but that's isn't that the slightly more sort of satirical one? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that's. I hope it is the one. I'm hoping that's the direction we've gone. Whew, that was a journey.
Can't wait to talk about websites tomorrow.
Yes, websites tomorrow. So we're talking about Squarespace, WordPress. I didn't realise
Wix,
Adobe. Yeah, the Adobe one. I'm
Code
fascinated. Yeah.
Dreamweaver.
Right. Well, I hope you're
SSS, SSL, XML.
I hope you're jetting up on it, because I'm going to be listening to you for an entire episode. Because you are the expert. See you tomorrow, Kev.
Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.